My favorite Halloween costumes. I normally was always a princess of some kind from Disney, mostly Ariel. But as I got older, and I'd have my husband dress up with me, which he did not like. But we would be something matching, like toga people or people from Austin Powers. And then I do remember if I ever ran out of time or couldn't think of anything, what better than being a Boston sports fan of one of the sports teams. So that was always my fallback for Halloween.
I was always that guy in Halloween. I was never really into Halloween, so I was the go-to, like, I'd put on a hockey jersey, or I would be the ghost with a cheap sheet over it. My favorite costume was probably my sister, was a leaf bag one year. And she wore a giant leaf bag with leaves glued to it. I thought that was pretty original, but I was never really into Halloween.
My favorite Halloween costumes over the years have, since I was little, has probably been anything homemade that my mom made. We always would pull something together last minute because I could never decide. And everything from a pumpkin to an old woman with curlers in my hair and a robe to I would wear a onesie and a pig mask. So there's been so many things over the years, but it's always been homemade. So that's always probably the best memory.
My favorite Halloween costumes are definitely the costumes that I was able to match my sister with. Being only 15 months apart, we were kind of almost dressed up like twins at points in our lives. So I remember we were like matching witches, we were matching cats, we were pretty much matching until we really got into like middle school, and then we kind of just did our own thing. But I think my favorite would probably be all the costumes I matched my sister with. My favorite Halloween candy was anything sour, like Sour Patch or peppermint patties. Most of the time, people did not provide those for trick-or-treating. Mostly it was Reese's Pieces, Butterfingers. So when it came to trading candy with my sisters, I always got a significantly less quantity than they did in the end, because it was 5 Reese's Pieces to them, 1 Sour Patch for myself. But those were my favorite candies.
My favorite Halloween candy, well, candy in general, is Skittles. I think it's ridiculously underappreciated. I think it's ridiculously underused at Halloween. And if you're gonna do Skittles, don't do the little cheap small bags. You have to go all out and go with a full bag of Skittles. People always harp on the chocolates and things like that. It's for the B team. You really need to go with Skittles.
My favorite Halloween candy was always the house that gave out the full chocolate bars. Always better to get more than less, so who wanted the little minis when you could get a whole bar?
My favorite Halloween candy is definitely Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, because I love peanut butter. But I also have a favorite for anything gummy, like Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms, gummy bears. Anything gummy is also a go-to. My favorite Halloween memories had to be because my dad always would take us. I mean, I went trick-or-treating every year, even into my senior year in high school, I went trick-or-treating. And my dad always went out. For work, he had to dress up and go to his different corporate cafeterias. So he would go all out. My favorite was when he was Tigger, where he literally looked like Tigger as you see him at Disney World or Disneyland, the full outfit. I'm pretty sure my youngest sister cried when she saw him because she obviously didn't know it was him. But that was probably my favorite memory. When he was Tigger, he would take us out. We'd go in our Barbie Jeep around, and it would take us significantly longer. But it was always fun, and he always was a great participant, and we always had a good time dressing up with him.
I'll say that my favorite Halloween memory had to have been Steph and Jay's wedding. up at the Mount Washington. It was a beautiful day. But realistically, my favorite Halloween memory would probably be the blurry ones from college. And that's about it.
Looking back, my favorite Halloween memories were going to visit my grandparents. We would always stop at their house and show off our costumes, and my grandparents would get dressed up. But more recently, my favorite Halloween memory is I actually got married on Halloween. Not for any particular reason, but that will definitely be a day that we remember now, not just as a holiday, but as our anniversary.
My favorite Halloween memories is when I grew up in Arizona, so I remember moving to New Hampshire and thinking how different Halloween here is. We used to just walk around the blocks and come back with like pillowcases full of candy, and then moving to New Hampshire when I was 8, I thought it was so crazy how everyone lived so far apart and you can't just go door to door to go trick-or-treating. But I loved that the small towns came together and did a town-wide trick-or-treating around town with all the local businesses, and I just thought that was so cool because it looked like a parade. So I think my favorite memory is just remembering how different it was here.